Hey everybody, so now that you've found your dream home, it's time to write an offer. So this is the part of the process I call dollars and dates. So in this video, we're going to talk about the types of deposits, important dates in an offer, and some of the contingencies that we might be writing into the offer. First, let's talk about the dollars. So the very first question I'm going to ask you is, how much do you want to pay for this property? So I'm often asked the question, how high should I go? And a lot of that depends on the situation. Are we in a multiple bid situation? Is this a new construction? Or is it a property that has accrued days or even months on market? So I will always ask you the question is, at what price is this home of value to you? So let's talk about the deposits. The first deposit that we're going to talk about in an offer is the earnest money deposit, or the EMD. Now, the reason for the earnest money deposit is that it shows that you as a buyer are earnest in fulfilling the obligations of the contract to the seller. So now typically it's about $1,000. I've seen more, I've seen less. These are all things we'll talk about during the offer process. This earnest money deposit is held in escrow, and it's only deposited once the offer has been accepted. The second deposit is when the purchase and sale is signed. Now typically that amount of money along with the earnest money deposit is 5% of the sales price. Now again, this can vary. Sometimes if maybe you're a first-time home buyer or if it's new construction, the numbers vary. But again, we talk about all of this when we're writing the offer. So the next deposit is due when the purchase and sale is signed. Now typically together with the earnest money deposit and this deposit, it makes up 5% of the sales price. Might be a little bit less, perhaps you're a first-time home buyer, could be a little bit more, perhaps it's a new construction. We'll discuss all of that in the offer phase, and this dollar amount deposit is held in escrow. Now on to dates. So the first important date in an offer is the expiration date. So typically an offer is valid for about 12 to 24 hours. The second important date is the purchase and sale date. So that's when the purchase and sale agreement is signed. Typically, it's about 10 to 14 days from the acceptance of the offer. Now, we typically use attorneys to draft and negotiate the purchase and sale. So your attorney will walk you through the contract. If you're taking a mortgage, the next important date is the mortgage contingency date, as well as the amount of money that you plan to borrow. So we get this information from your lender. Now, typically it's about 3 to 4 weeks from the purchase and sale date. So if you're going to be having a home inspection, that is typically done about 5 to 10 days after the offer has been accepted, but prior to purchase and sale. Now, I could do a whole video on the home inspection and the home inspection remediation process, but for purposes of this video and the offer phase, it's important to note what date we plan to have an inspection completed by, and if there's going to be any dollar cap amount for anticipated repairs. All of this gets discussed as we're writing the offer. Now, if you're considering new construction, we often do a home inspection about a week before closing to help create the punch list. The bottom line is that during the offer phase, my job is to give you the information so that you can make the best decisions in terms of dollars, dates, and contingencies. Just remember that each situation is unique. Once an offer is accepted, my job again is to give you the information so that you can make decisions and I can go back and negotiate the home for you for the best price, terms and conditions, and maximize value. If you have any questions about what goes into an offer to purchase real estate, please reach out to me because I'm always happy to help.